Hi, my name is Devon and I'm going to be giving an informative speech on origami. This is my audience. There's Taylor, who's one of my classmates, my brother, my mom, and my dad. So, a lot of people have heard of origami and they've seen it on TV, seen it in movies, seen it in art, but a lot of people don't actually know the history behind it or where it originated from. As a pre-med major, I spent a lot of time in the medical field and in hospitals, and I've seen firsthand the importance of having a sense of cultural awareness and cultural diversity to be able to relate to people who have very different background than you. I've learned that certain cultures have different norms, they have different etiquette, they have different everything, and if you have no idea what the culture is of certain people, then it can be pretty hard to get along with them as a patient, as a coworker, or as a doctor-to-doctor relationship. I'm going to be explaining Japanese culture, specifically origami and the history behind it, and also the history of the origami crane. Origami, it has kind of a little bit of a shaky origination, but most people have pretty much concurred that it originated in 1680 in a poem. The poem was about an origami butterfly, and it was the first ever mention of the word origami in history on paper. And origami actually means paper folding in Japanese. The first book ever written on origami was called Sembazuru Orikata, and it was written in 1797. The book kind of represents how popular origami had come to be by this point and how popular it was, how long it had been around. The book was about one kind of origami, but there are actually several different kinds by this time. Eventually, origami came to be a very royal fine art because paper was a luxury item during that time. And then now, origami has differentiated into European, classic, mathematical, all sorts of branching out, and now we learn it all over the world, learn it in art class, and now it's more than just a Japanese trend. One of the most popular types of origami is actually the crane, because the crane is very important in Japanese culture. It represents honor and loyalty because the bird actually mates for life and is seen as a very strong, powerful symbol. It actually is said in Japanese culture that if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, your greatest wish will come true. The first book ever written about origami that I mentioned earlier, Sembazuru Orikata, actually means in Japanese how to fold 1,000 cranes. And cranes are used in baptisms, weddings, funerals. They're a very big feature over in Japan. So now I'm going to be showing you how to make a paper crane. The only thing that you will need is a square of paper. It can be any size, any color, it can have patterns on it, anything, as long as it's a square. You first start off by folding the paper in half vertically, just like this. Right in half. I'm going to do it down here on the desk so I can get a nice fold. Vertically just like that, and then you pull it back out, and then you're going to do the same fold horizontally. Just like that, and then you pull it back out, and now you should have a very nice defined T across the paper. The next fold you do is corner to corner diagonally, just like this, to make a triangle. And you should get this shape, and then you pull that back out and do the same thing in the two other corners. So now that you have the square, what you do is you take one corner of the square and you fold it down so it touches the other corner. I'm going to do it so then I can show you. Like this. I pulled this corner down and touched it to the bottom here. So then you have this. And then you're going to take this corner right here and you fold it down to here. So now you have kind of a half of a triangle going. And then you do the same thing for the other side. you've done the fold on both sides, you should be left with one square that you can pull up from the bottom, just like this. The next fold you make is you take a corner on the right side and you fold it over so it lines up vertically right in the middle of the square. And it should look like this, like half of a kite. And you're going to do this on both sides. So it looks like a kite with some wings behind it. And then you're going to do the same thing for the other side. And now you have a kite. And what you're going to do now is, starting with one side, you're going to undo the kite just like this. The whole point of making the kite in this step was to make preliminary folds. And then you undo the folds and pull it up just like this. And what you're trying to do is get the folds to be in the opposite direction, and you pull it up just like this. Can you guys see what I did? I pulled this was down here, and I pulled it up just like this. So it should be left just like this. And then you do the same thing right on the other side. Ooh, got a little bit of a tear there. Make sure to take your time with this so that way you don't get any nasty folds or tears. Okay, so now you have your kite just like this, and this is the bird. You just have to now fold it so you can get the wings. So what you do is you take the left side and you fold it over just like this, and then you have this down here. This is your wing. So what you're going to do is you fold it up just like this. And then the fold you'd made in the previous step in half, you reverse and you pull it back over just like this. And then you make the same fold in the opposite direction right here. And then you make the other wing by pulling it up just like this. You see where I pulled it up? And then you pull the wings down and you have your crane. So in conclusion, it is very important to be a better person by being more culturally aware, knowing the traditions, history of other people, so you can better interact and better work with these people. Thank you.